Greetings and welcome to the World Reflexology Foundation. We've been having a series of online workshops, and this one is about neck issues. My name is Bill Floco, and I'm president of the World Reflexology Foundation. And in 2007, a group of reflexologists, all of them with a lot of experience, got together, and all of them with a passion of wanting to help the world be a healthier place. We wanted to empower people. How could we get reflexology into the hands of lots of people around the world, and in the process help improve health around the world? And what we did was we came up with the idea of the World Reflexology Foundation. So we were started in 2007. Since then, we trained a lot of people, up to 50 people, to become trainers, volunteer trainers. They've gone out and conducted workshops, mostly in the United States, but in other countries. And we've estimated approximately 2,000 to 3,000 people have been in those live hands-on workshops. And then the pandemic came. We were wondering, how are we going to go from here? And of course, the blessings of Zoom came in, and we were able to do online workshops. So the one today on neck issues actually is about the 10th in a series. And of course, we'll have a lot more workshops in the future. So you'll want to be staying attuned to those. Now, as we go into this, you might become fascinated and like to support the idea of spreading this information worldwide. And if you are interested in helping us do that towards the end, we'll tell you how you can spread the word to your family, friends, and neighbors. And if you like, if you're so inclined, you'll be able to make some donations as well, which we certainly very much appreciate, because we're not paid, but of course, this all costs money. Now, something that's unique about our program is what's called priority reflexing. In other words, if you had pain in your neck, let's say, and it was such a severe pain that you're almost in tears, or you had a baby or your grandparents in severe pain, you'd want to know, if you knew some reflexology, which the foot reflexology, hand reflexology, or ear reflexology would be most effective. The best one, what would be your top priority? Which one would you go to first? And over 40 years of working with priority reflexing, something that is unique about the World Reflexology Foundation is that we base our work on what's called priority reflexing. And that's, where would you go first between the feet, hands, and ears if there's a problem in a certain part of the body? If it's in the neck, you probably go to one part of the body first. If it's in the stomach, you might go to another part, feet, hands, or ears first. And if it's in the, let's say, the knee, you might go to yet another part of the feet, hands, and ears. So what we'd like to do now is go into, for those of you who are new to reflexology, we'd like to go into a little explanation of what reflexology is. And for those of you who have heard this before, or have read books or studied, you might find this a review and maybe even some new information for you. So Sarah, take it away and explain to us what reflexology is.
Reflexology is the art and science of using a touch technique on maps that are found on your hands, feet, and ears that resemble the human body. So it's as if you took the body and you put them on the hands, feet, and ears, and you worked on the corresponding reflex points to affect that part of your body. So that's a very general version of reflexology, but it is very effective and works on the nervous system, or is believed to work on the nervous system. Now I'd like to show you some maps of the areas and the regions that correspond, and that might explain a little bit more of how the areas combine with the reflexology touch techniques. So as you see here, there's colored charts, and each color corresponds with a different area of the body. So it makes it very easy to associate that part of the body with that part of the hands, feet, or ears. So here we have the neck and head region is in purple. The blue is the chest region. Yellow is the upper and mid abdominal regions. Lower abdominal is orange. Leg region is in red. And green is the arm region. And of course, the arms include the hands and the legs include the feet. Now, when we see this picture of the feet or this chart of the feet, we see that the purple are at the toes, and that is the head and neck region. We've got the blue, which is the chest region, moving down to the yellow, which is the upper mid abdominal regions, followed with the lower abdominal, which is the orange. Now, on the sides, we see there is a green area on the outer foot, which is the arm and hand region. And right inside of that, you'll see a little bit of red, which is the leg and foot region. Now, on the center of the foot, you'll see that black and white marking area, and that is considered the spinal region. Now we have the hands that follow the same as the feet. Again, the top is the fingers are the blue, the purple, excuse me. That is the head and neck region. Goes on to the thumb as well. The blue is the chest region. Yellow is the upper and mid abdominal. Lower is the orange. You'll see a little bit of the red at that outer wrist, which would be the leg and foot regions. And the green that goes all along the outer portion of the hand is the arm and hand region. Again, on the inner part of your, or not inner, but the center part of your thumb is the black and white, and that is the spinal region. And when we move on to the ears, it is a different setup altogether. Now, it is completely reversed as opposed to the hand and the foot. It starts at the bottom. The lobe is the head, and it moves upward from there to the chest region being the blue area, moving up to the upper and mid abdominals yellow. The lower abdominal follows with the orange, and then as you can see at the top is the leg and foot reflex. Now on the outer bit, that's still inside the outer part of the ear, but inside the ear there, we see the arm and hand reflex in green. Now running through that whole area is the spinal reflex, and that's again symbolized with the black and white striped markings. So you'll see that the hand and feet resemble the body from the top going down, and then the ear is reversed with the head and ending with the feet at the top. Now, this is where you see where we're going to be working today. All the dark areas are the cervical and neck reflexes, and you can see here where we're going to talk about that. Thank you. Take it back to you, Bill.
Thank you, Sarah. And I was especially glad to see how you showed that with the coloring charts, made it very clear. Appreciate that. It's been estimated that neck issues are experienced by almost everyone on Earth sometime in their life. Almost everybody on Earth oftentimes has neck stress or neck pain or neck injuries. And I'd like you to think for a minute about the power of the neck. It's not only that the issue affects the neck, but the muscles in the neck go up to the head. The muscles in the neck come down to the chest in front and in back. If the neck relaxes, it helps breathing, muscles in the chest to relax, which helps breathing to become easier. If the neck's relaxed, it helps the blood flow and the cerebral spinal fluid flow to the head become much better, so the head and brain can function better because they're getting more oxygen and nutrients. So we'd like you to, as we're talking about the neck today and demonstrate where to work on the feet and ears, feet and hands, we'd like you to remember that it's not only for the neck, but the profoundly important cascade of benefits that happen to the head, the chest, and the abdomen as the neck relaxes. With that, Victor, take it away.
Thank you, Bill. Well, I think one of the great things about priority reflexing is that we get to show you the order that will be most effective in treating what we're trying to do. So I'm going to start with the ears, and then we'll be sharing with you the reflex points on the feet and then the hands. So one thing to notice is that we're pretty familiar with our hands. We kind of see them every day. We know all the different parts of our hands. We're pretty familiar with our feet. We know our toes and the sole of the foot and the ankle. But the ears are a little trickier because we ordinarily don't really get to see our ears in the mirror very easily, and we don't necessarily recognize where the different parts of our ear are. But most of us do know our earlobes. Okay. Earrings, or we're used to tugging on, and we know our earlobes pretty well. And what's remarkable is that the structures of the ear are pretty similar. You know, you look at anybody's ear, and they actually all have these different little parts that I'm going to try to explain to you here. So the two different things that features are the raised portions. We identify them as ridges, and then the sunken in portions of the ear we recognize as valleys. So we talk about it that way. And in this picture that you're seeing right now on the left and right ear, the dark portion is going to be where the reflex for that we're going to use to address the neck and cervical spine issues. So the things to notice right here, I think more than anything, is that you realize that it's a little bit, you see the earlobe is on the bottom. So just up from the earlobe and a little bit to the outside is where we're going to be heading. So that's where I'm going to show you both on the model and on myself. And then we'll get to practice seeing if we can find it, and then we'll do a little reflexing. Thank you, Kathy. So really, the thing to notice, like I said, you can see the ridges, you can see the valleys, and we can find our earlobe pretty easily. And one of the key features that almost everybody can find pretty easily is this notch that's right above the earlobe, closer to your face. And as you go away from your face, there's a little bump. And there's this bump that most people, again, we all have pretty much the same kind of features. Some are a little bigger than others or smaller than others, but get up and over the bump and to the area just above it. And that really is the neck and cervical spine reflex point. And the really easiest way to access it is using the pad of your index finger on the top on the ridge, and then put your thumb on the back of your ear to kind of have something to press against. And the thing about reflexology is really not about the pressure. It really is about finding the specific point for the reflex that we're trying to address, for which part we're working on. So I'd like you all to kind of even start feeling your own ears and see if you can find, see if you can find the notch first. And so we should be able to see that there's this notch. My ear in particular doesn't have a huge bump. It's a little bit smaller than most, but it's there. And then just above that, that's kind of the spot that we're looking for. So if you can find that on your ear, see if you can find it on one. And then again, find the notch, find the bump, and then find the little ridge just above the bump. And again, you're not out here. You're not up here, you're not up here. Notch, bump, and ridge. So hopefully you can see where my fingers are on both sides. And so the idea here is to apply gentle but firm pressure with your pad of your index finger pressing against the pad of your thumb. And now I'd like to ask you to just close your eyes and get comfortable in your chair. And if you're at a desk or a table and you're able to put your elbows on the table, it'll be a little easier than just sitting up and trying to hold your hands up. And you can relax a little bit more into this position so that while we're doing the reflexing, you really can just really take a nice deep breath with your eyes closed, almost go into a little meditative state and allow the reflexing to start doing its little magic work here. So really just very, very gently, just everybody just inhale. Hold it for just a second, then exhale. And we'll do this for a little while. Let's hang out here for a while. Keep inhaling slowly, have a little gentle pause, and then exhale and inhale again. And we're going to see what you feel like. And notice if you have had stiff neck or have pain in your neck, we're going to see if you feel a difference afterwards. So just inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Gently and firmly pressing the reflex point. So when you're ready, take a nice big inhale and exhale. When you're ready, open your eyes, back into the room, check in with yourself. You can release the reflex point and sit up straight and just feel a little bit different than you did when we started. And you can imagine that, I don't even know if that was 3 minutes, it wasn't very long, but if you do that for 5, 10, even 15 minutes, or if you have someone on the table, we know we've been known to hold it for 30, 35 minutes. And it really can make a difference in treating all the issues that surround us. And that's our neck, our cervical spine, our throat, all of this area. Think of, this whole chakra area even. And this is what we're trying to address here. This is going to be the ear portion, and when you use it in combination with the other two, with the hands and the feet, in the order that we're going to show them. So it's ears, feet, and hands today. You'll notice there's a difference, and I encourage you to give it a shot, try it for a longer amount of time, and do the same thing with the other two areas that we're going to show you today. So thank you so much, and back to you, Bill.
I was in a car accident over a year ago and had bad whiplash. This I feel within a few seconds. That's to give you an idea of how powerful this is, everybody. So notice Victor gave us a gift. He didn't only show us where to work and how to work, but he actually gave us time. Two things about that. A lot of people familiar with foot reflexology think we have to hold hard and their hands get tired and start to hurt. You want to use a pressure that's firm, gentle, but short of any excuse me, short of any discomfort in your hands or fingers or thumbs. That's so, Victor, thank you for giving us time. And I've held this, you mentioned 30, 35 minutes. I've held it that much with any number of times on myself and on others. Thank you for a beautiful demonstration. Before we go to the hands and ears, hands and feet, there's a theory in reflexology, of course, that all the fingers and all of the thumbs and all of the toes have reflexes for the head and neck. But the other theory within reflexology is that the thumbs, the left thumb has all the area for the neck on the head and neck on the left side, and the right hand on the right side. So in other words, all fingers can be used to help relieve the head and neck, and all toes as well. But what the additional thing is that the two thumbs just by themselves can, if you do both of them, you also can bring a lot of relief to the head and neck. So we're going to be focusing mainly on the head and on the neck reflexes through the big toe and the thumbs. So with that, uh, Yvonne, would you like to take it away for the feet?
I love the different types of feet that we have. I know sometimes those of us that practice reflexology have to sometimes work on somebody with a sock on because they're so ticklish or they don't like their feet touched. But for those who actually stick their feet up and say, yes, please, just rub my feet, right? So we come home from a long day and all you want to do, you just want somebody to grab your feet and just give them the most gentle, loving, I'm showing you on a model, but just even a squeeze. I didn't show this when we practiced, but I was reminded as I was preparing for today that you can't just go straight to the big toe. You just put your hands warmly on the person's foot. And that beautiful part of this touch therapy and this modality is amazing. And as Bill said, with everything not only that's going on in the world currently, but having lived through COVID, we need this now more than ever. So if you get to have a foot up in your lap or on a chair or on a couch, you're going to go directly for the neck, straight to the big toe, where you'll be simply rolling your finger across the top of the toe. It's a very slow, gentle, almost, if you're not experienced, just think of an inchworm or a caterpillar. And then you are going to the back of the toe and doing the exact same thing gently right at the base. You can start right at the edge, the base of the big toe. And I'm going slightly faster for the sake of time, but then I inched up just a tiny bit and I'm gently working my way very, very slowly around. So when we think of, again, head and neck, head and neck on the big toe, the thumb, which Paul will be showing later, and the ear, it's 3D. So we're thinking of it as the whole foot, top and bottom. You can do a little tiny gentle massage on the top of the foot just to relax the foot. And then you go to the side, right in the middle, and you gently, whether you just put your thumb there and stop and hold whoever you're working on. I actually fall asleep as soon as someone puts their thumbs or finger on my big toe. And then you can just gently inchworm down, or you can circle. So you're just using the pad of your thumb, and it's almost, there's a slight curve here. It fits so naturally to just put your thumb right there and allow that person to rest. And as soon as we start to begin to relax, like I did with Victor, showing us how to hold the ears and breathe and just take time for ourselves or a loved one. You can also, I'll just add to that for the neck, head and neck, but neck specifically, you're working basically on the side up to about that middle joint and around the base. of the big toe. So if you're in a position, some of you look very comfortable. I don't know if I'll actually hold my foot right up high enough to show you my own foot. I don't know how clean they are, but if you're able to actually set yourself comfortably in a chair or on the edge of the bed or on the floor, whatever you can, bring one leg up and across your other leg, and just try, take your thumb and gently gently just hold right at the base of the big toe. And then you can, as you take a breath and exhale, you can start to gently inch or move around, however it's comfortable. If you have your fingers on someone's toes, I'm pretty sure, and on their feet, as Sarah mentioned in some of the diagrams, you know, it's the base of the big toe. And and you're not, again, to reiterate what Bill said earlier, you're not digging in deeply. It's just a gentle, soft motion. One last thing. If you put the center, we have so much feeling in our fingertips and the tips of our toes. You just take the center of your thumb and put it in that person. If they're laying on the couch with their feet toward you, and you just take your thumb and put it right in the center and have them breathe. Inhale, gently press. And then exhale. And you can take 2 or 3 breaths while you're letting that toe slowly come back up. And it's hold the heels, and there it is. Thank you so much. Back to you, Bill.
Whoa, thank you, Yvonne. So what Yvonne showed us is not only how to work all the way around the base of both big toes, left big toe for the left half of the neck and the right big toe for the right half of the neck, but also sometimes holding the upper part for relaxation of a deeper nature, because where she had her thumb was more for the head and brain reflexes, that can help relax the body, which is an additional benefit of the toes. So thank you very much, Yvonne from Canada. Yay. And now to the area that most of us are more familiar with, and it's our deep sonorous voice, Paul Harvey. Thank you, Paul. Take it away.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Victor, for the ear demonstration. Used just one ear, and so my neck kind of started going like this as it relaxed in one way. So that was interesting. And thank you, Yvette, for that great demo on the feet. So we have the hands, which comes in third in the priority reflexing, but it's also the most easy to access as we're maybe in a public location or in the holidays are coming up, so we have those family get-togethers and dinners that sometimes might not be so comfortable and cause some tension. So keep this in mind during those great family meals together. And so the areas that we're looking at for the thumb, Kathy is just showing those now. I'm showing here with my own thumbs, but we'll show that again. So you'll see with that we have that area right between the joint where the thumb joins the hand and the first joint of the thumb. So this is the area, this, what you're seeing as a blue area. I've been working mine so much it turned blue. But anyway, we thought this would be a way to sort of differentiate, 10 fingers and 2 hands into just one kind of small location. And so we can work with the two fingers of the opposite hand, work it this way, and just do that sort of inchworm crawl along this way and all the way around, or with the thumb. So we can see the thumb is a little bit more difficult to show on the camera, but we're showing the thumb here as it comes around the top side of the opposite thumb. So we're using again, that kind of inchworm motion, just coming along all the way around. So the full circumference of the bottom half of the thumb is being covered all in all. So now that we've had sort of a little introduction on what we're going to work on. So everybody that wants to participate, go ahead and take your right or your left hand and locate the thumb, and then locate where the thumb joins the hand, and then that knuckle between there and the first knuckle of the thumb is where we are working. So this is where we're working to relax the area of the neck. And coming along, and we can at one point after a few minutes switch over to the other side, working that same sort of motion, and hopefully we're all seeing this okay. I don't know that you're seeing the actual speaker on speaker mode, but hopefully you are able to see this. Is anybody still awake at this point? Everyone's so deeply relaxed that they're just falling away. Okay, so you have that idea now on how to work with your neck reflexes on the thumbs of your hands. So there we go. Go forward and relax those necks. And thanks for the opportunity. Back to you, Bill.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for making it so clear what parts of the thumbs and the techniques to do it. One of the things that everybody will notice that all three of our presenters did is they said, spend a lot of time on each. So I'd like you to think back to when I mentioned earlier about priority reflexing. People only know how to do foot reflexology. Bless them, and the feet are amazing. But people who know how to do foot, hand, and ear reflexology, when there's pain, discomfort, range of motion issues, they will know which is the top priority to do first, then second, and third. So it's called priority reflexing and then progression reflexing. So that's one of the special advantages that you get through the World Reflexology Foundation self-help training. So we do not have a preference as far as feet, hands, or ears. We have a preference as to what's most important for you based on decades and decades and decades and hundreds of reflexologists using these techniques. And so as we see for the neck would be the ears first, big toes second, and hands third. So thank you for the three of you for doing such a phenomenal job. Now, before we go further, Sarah has a few pointers to share with us. Sarah?
I wanted to thank everybody for participating. I think it's amazing that you're here on a Saturday afternoon. And this is all stuff that'll really help you if you do it consistently, do it slowly, And using the priority reflexes when available is a really wonderful way of doing this. And we sent out workbooks for everybody, and please reference that and go back to that, and give yourself the color charts to give yourself the where to work, and the maps. So I wanted to say that. I wanted to also say the contraindication is obviously don't work on areas that are overly tender, and don't work on any broken skin. So that's very, very important. And remember the importance of drinking water after doing reflexology. Anytime you release anything in your body, you want to flush it out. So that's an important thing to do, is stay hydrated. And now moving on to something that is a little bit more focused and important for us is our surveys that we're going to send out. And it's like a kind of a big deal when we say we're sending out surveys. Not everybody likes to do surveys, but we really need you to pay attention to these surveys that we're sending out, because we collect this data, and this data is how we get grants, and how we get grants is how we keep going, and how we keep going is reaching more people around the world to help them with self-help. So when you get these surveys, they've been formulated to collect this data, and it takes a little bit of time, but not too much time. And again, we really, really appreciate it. So look in your emails, and look for those surveys from the WRF. We really, really appreciate that. And also it lets us know and track how successful we are. So that's also a really good point for us. And we are run 100% on donation. So we are all volunteer. Everybody puts in all volunteer hours. So if you'd like to donate, please go to our website, worldreflexologyfoundation.org. So it's the whole thing spelled out, worldreflexologyfoundation.org. And we're going to put a slide at the end to show you that, so you can see how it's spelled out. And there's a donate button, so you can donate one time, or you can set up donations for monthly, maybe $5 a month, and that really helps us out. Also, the contact us section has our PO box, so you can send a check. And we also would love to have you sign up for our newsletter, and that keeps you involved in what's going on and what activities or new workshops we are planning. And stay tuned for the end of our workshop, because we're going to put a slide up that shows you what our next subject is in February. So it's very exciting. So again, thank you. Just keep an eye out for those surveys. And if you can donate, we really, really appreciate it. I know times are a little challenging now, but we're trying to spread a really good thing around the world. So thank you, Bill.
Sarah, once again, thank you. And thank you for all the job you've done stepping in, coordinating this workshop. And no easy job, but you've done great. Thank you. Now, shortly, we're going to be having a review. One of the benefits of the survey is people said a long time ago in some of our earlier workshops that they would have preferred a review. So we do include a review, which helps us learn better. What do they say? Repetition is the mother of knowledge and skill. So we will be Kathy will be taking us through a review. But first, somebody commented much earlier that the charts that they use are a little bit different than ours. We understand that, and there are many good charts around the world. So what we'd like to suggest is use your charts definitely, and try what we have as well. I think you'll find that there are multiple items, and you'll see that in most ways, most charts are pretty close to each other. So thank you for that survey that was added under the chat section. Hopefully you're relaxed enough that all the muscles because when the neck relaxes, the head relaxes, because the muscles in the neck connect to the head. And as the neck relaxes, the muscles in the neck connect to the chest, and the chest relaxes. Many people who relax their neck find that they breathe more easily, and it's easier for them to smile for Zoom group shots. So thank you, Annie, for taking those. So we'll have now, Kathy, if you'll take us through a review, and then we'll have questions and answers and a few other little gifts and an announcement of what our next subject will be. And I think you'll be excited about that subject. Kathy, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Bill. All right. Well, this is just a quick review. Remember, when you do work on yourself, to work very slowly, give it as much time as you can, and just enjoy it. So Victor started us out with where to find the neck reflex on the ears. And he showed us that we can find this notch right here by the lobe. And if you start here on this notch, go over this bump to this ridge right here. And this is where you want to be for the neck reflexes. On this ridge, you can have your thumb behind and your index finger on front, or the other way around, whatever's easiest for you. And just hold that ridge. That's where you'll find the neck reflex on the ears. And Victor also showed us that you can work on both ears at the same time, and maybe have a desk or a table. And it really felt good when he demonstrated. We got to hold for a couple of minutes, and you can't overdo this, and it really is quite relaxing for the neck. Mine is already looser than when we started today. So that's where you find the neck reflex on the ears. Yvonne showed us how to find the neck reflexes on the feet, and with the main focus being on the bottom half of the toe, you can find it, I mean the big toe, because you can find the neck reflexes on all the toes here, but it's the bottom half of the big toe is where we mainly want to focus. And she showed us how to use our index finger and slowly just work our way around and get your foot as comfortable as you can, or have someone else do this for you on your feet. But it's very relaxing. You can use your thumb on the other bottom half of the big toe. And again, slowly, just really nurturing and slow. You can work up, again, very slowly, just as long as you're covering the bottom half of that big toe. You're going to be really affecting the neck reflex area. And you can work both feet, of course. And then Paul showed us how to find the neck reflexes on the hands. Similar to the feet, you'll find the neck reflexes on the lower half of the fingers and on the thumbs. And I loved how he had the blue bands on his thumbs. It showed us exactly where to work, using basically the same technique as with the big toe, and just working the bottom half of the thumb. I don't know if you can see, just slowly. You can work up, you can work around, just covering that entire bottom half of the thumbs is where you'd love to work for that. So, and you can, as he said, I think you can have your hands in your lap and no one will know what you're doing, and it's very relaxing. So that's just a quick review. I'm really glad you all showed up today. This is really fun. And back to you, Bill.
Kathy, thanks for that review. And we appreciate the people who have taken surveys in the past and given us the feedback and guided us to add this review. So thank you. Again, not to overwork it, but those your responses are very helpful to us. Another thing that would be very helpful to us is if you actually use this information working on your feet, hands, and ears. How do I put this? Those of you who've been around reflexology for a long time know what I'm going to know what the truth of what I'm going to say next. But some of us who are new might not know this. The more time you spend doing these, the more likely you are to get better results. The more time you spend working on your feet, hands, and ears, in this case, your ears, feet, and hands, the more benefits you're going to get. And our goal of the World Reflexology Foundation is not just to do training, but it's to do training that's going to help people get results. Now, somebody asked, are we going to be writing an article? Any of you who belong to any of the reflexology organizations in America and international, might have noticed that some of our articles after these workshops appear. So we've had about 10 articles. The answer is we will have an article. We're not sure when it will be sent to the publications, but more than likely, this again, Sarah's our phenomenal article writer. She'll be writing something up, and within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be having an article and sending it out with illustrations and photos. So thank you for asking, Karen.